was 1972. And after folding shut El Diario, pushing aside his bowl of cream of wheat, Jake took his pistol, put it in one pocket of his overcoat, and he put his bag and a handful of diamonds in the other one. And he left his apartment, drawing his overcoat and tied around his shoulders. As he crunched in the snow, found his way over to All American. All American! Salvage yard, a tow yard. Some of those not in the know would have called it a junkyard. And on the side of the building, big two-corrugated steel doors, was Uncle Sam. Some neighborhood wag had spray painted a cock into Uncle Sam's mouth, which Joseph Bago had left. He said for effect. In front of the iron gate at the bottom, they rang the buzzer. The buzzer crankled back, and somebody came across the intercom and said, "Hey, Jake, what do you know? What do you say?" He's like, yeah, I came to see Joey. Is Joey there? Come on up, Jake. You don't have to be a stranger at All American. You see, at All American, they bought and they sold. It wasn't a salvage yard so much as it was a stock market for shit that people lost. Cars that were lost. TVs that were lost. Debts that were lost. You see, this was the kind of place where you paid what you owe, or they paid you what you owe. Stairs, and he entered the bullpen where there was desk after desk after desk after desk. You had guys stuck to these desks on phones. And if you weren't on the phone, it was considered that you weren't making money. The confirmation name was Joseph Salvatore Bago. Joey Bago. Joey Bag of Donuts. He sat in a funky shit brown naga hide chair with the arms torn out, the stuffing, and he sat and he watched the room, and he too was on the phone. The seat right next to him was what he called the hot seat, and it's where the low earners had to sit. Sometimes he'd have two phones jammed into the fleshy folds of his chin, his jowl. He's talking, he waves Jake over, and Jake makes his way across the floor, and he says hi to Karma, and he says hi to Louie, he says hi to Neil. Oh, Louie's in the hot seat. And Louie looks up expectantly, hoping for some reprieve from this, and he says, hey Jake, how you doing? And Joey says, you get back to work! Jake, please sit down. and the gun in Jake's pocket. He feels against the sweat of his right hand. He says, I want to talk to you, Joey. I want to talk to you about some diamonds. And Joey says, diamonds? Where would you get the diamonds from? And I told you to get back to work! See, Louis, you don't want to end up like 976. And a chill went through All American as all the guys, they wedged their phones in deeper and deeper to their ear holes, like maybe somehow this would blot out the fucking memory of 976. And by all rights, they should have loved the memory of 976. Because you see, when 976 showed up at All American, they hated 976. He had come in, he was, they started him out with the Puerto Ricans in the yard, cleaning up, feeding the dogs, these angry pistons of dirty action that Joey kept to keep out kids from stealing stuff. They should have hated him. But he worked his way up from the yard. He got a desk and a phone. And Joey started to love this guy. I mean, love him with a passionate love, because this kid was on the phone constantly. Joey never left this place, at least the ways nobody ever saw him. He was either there or maybe sometimes he was at the Greeks getting a sandwich, but usually he was always there, and the kid was there in the morning. And the kid was there at night when everybody else left. And Joey started treating him like a son. And it became very quickly and clearly, it became a Cain and Abel situation. The guys in the bullpen were Cain, 976. Beautiful boy was an Abel. Pretty soon, Joey started punctuating his conversations with, if you want some advice, why don't you ask the kid? Why can't you be more like the kid? Now, if I had 10 like the kid, they hated him. And they would have gone on hating him. Except one day, Joey sat there for about an hour. It was a fat, poisonous toad of Joey Bag of Donuts, sat there, piece of paper in his hand. And I want you guys to knock off for the day. Something he never did. You knock off a little early today. Come back tomorrow, I want to talk to you about something. They leave, the kid stays, he goes, you too, kid, especially you. They file out. And they see Joey rocking back and forth, looking at this piece of paper. And the next day, they do like he said, and they show up early. He's got the same shirt on, same stains on the same shirt, same pieces of paper in the same hand. They get on the phones, they start talking. They don't know who they're talking to. They're calling about parts down in Lodi. They're calling about stuff out in Ridgewood. They're calling all over. They're calling anybody they can. Joey waits till everybody's there and he says, do you think it's possible? Do you think it's possible that a man could lose $3,000 and still stay in business? And I swear to God, in the right light, you might have thought there was maybe one of those like single tears coming down Joey's face, like that fucking Indian in the commercial. He's got the paper and he's like, do you think it's possible that a man in my condition could sell $3,000 worth of anything to a 976 line? Do you think that's possible? In the back of the room, you start to hear the beginnings, the slow beginnings of exculpatory noise. And they all, in shock, turn to see Golden Boy start to rise from his chair and say, Joe, I can explain. Oh, you can explain. You can explain. You can explain why I've got $3,000 worth of calls here on my phone bill. What did you sell that's worth $3,000? Well, Joe, it was like, what did you sell that was worth $3,000 to 976 blow? Okay, Joe, listen. No, you listen. But tomorrow night, you're gonna pay me back what you owe me. Because John, I got a problem, Joey. I got a problem. You got a fucking understatement. That's you $3,000 you will pay. And Joey now rises from his chair, and faster than anybody's ever seen a fat man move, he makes it across that desk, knocking over the stapler, the pen, the cup holder, the coffee cup, the bric-a-brac that's strewn over his desk, slides off onto the floor as he makes his way over this desk, and he's got his hands on the kid's neck. He goes, you're gonna make it up. You're gonna make it up to me. And people are shocked, stuck. You hear them say other times, other places, it happened so fast, and things do happen fast, but they were stuck in time. And the kid, he's pleading. But he's pleading in a way that sounds like he's pled the same pleas before. Until Joey reaches around him, he's standing behind him, holding his head down the desk, and he reaches behind him and around him, and he begins undoing his belt and his pants. He goes, look. I'm a nice guy. But $3,000 is $3,000. And he pulls the phone up. I'm not talking about an iPhone. I'm talking about an old-fashioned telephone with a nice thick receiver, something you could kill somebody with. And he goes, I am going to show you the proper way to use a goddamn phone! And he holds the kid's head down on the desk and he starts beating him with the phone! And the kid is screaming, but he's screaming like somebody who's practiced at screaming. And Joey yanks down his underwear and he says, now! Shoves the receiver up his ass and the kid screams! And Joey is working it in at like $3,000. He says, Louie, give me the duct tape! And Louie, a voice of conscience from the back of the room, he starts to, we had a saying at All American. The saying was, I'm a willing participant in a double murder if it keeps me from being murdered. So Louis gets the duct tape. and he brings it back to Joey. And the kid is now, his legs slumps like broken marionette legs over the edge of the table. He's breathing heavily, but Joe starts to wrap his legs up with the tape. And he wraps it around his crotch with little rivulets of red running down the back of his thighs into his white socks. And he continues, and he's got a nice silver diaper of duct tape. And Joey grabs him by the scruff of his neck and drags him across the floor, his feet dragging parallel scrape lines, and he gets him to the top of the marble stairs. Throws him down like a sack of garbage. And he turns back to the room and remembers and goes, and kid, you don't pay me what you owe me. I'm gonna do what I did to you, to your whole family. Oh, and kid, get out of my yard before I call a cop. And the rest of you get back to work! Understand his trepidation, his concern, his fear, and his general sense of uneasiness. I mean, if you were standing between the fat man and $100 or $10 or $5, your odds of standing there for long are very good, let alone $100,000. So Jake was very mindful of being savvy, if that was a word that Jake would have used. I mean, a guy like Joey, you know, it wasn't all fun and games with him. He had managed to continue to do business as an unaffiliated member of organized crime in Red Hook, Brooklyn, which is where this was. With a kind of an amazing act with anybody else would have been auto-da-fe, but in his case was almost a masterstroke. Because everybody who did business had to pay for the business they did. I'll give you an example. This one guy stole, in the course of one evening, 10 hot dog carts. To us, a hot dog cart's a hot dog cart. Well, you got 10 fake licenses all over the city. It's a lot of money coming in a week, at least in 1972. And so he took him to the guy that Joey ended up working for, and he stood there and he goes, I got these 10 carts, and the guy stood there and goes, it's good work. Bunch of money, the carts, and he stood there for a few seconds, and the boss looked up at him and says, the fuck you standing there for? He goes, I guess you're standing there because you're waiting for me to thank you? This is why would I do that? It's like thanking you for breathing. These are the people that Joey owed. And once a week, they would send some kid named Lester over. I call him a kid, he was 22. Lester with his crew cut. Lester, he said when his girlfriend, you know, in a burst of upwardly mobile fucking fantasy thinking, decided to go to college, Lester had a plan. Lester goes, I'm gonna go down to her college. I'm gonna wear a tank top. I'm gonna walk into that freshman dorm and I want all those boys to see this. I want them to see this. This was Lester. He was mostly strong-armed. And once a week he would show up at Joey's to pick up a bag of money and he would take it back once a week. But Joey had a plan. So one day Lester shows up and he says, you know, okay, Joey, give me the money. She said, yeah, kid, shit. That's, fuck, I forgot, man. I'm sorry, you come back tomorrow, I'll have the money for you. So they shoot the shit, they talk about sports, Lester leaves, comes back the next day, there's no Joey. Comes back the day after, still no Joey. He goes to the Greeks, there's no Joey at the Greeks, there's no Joey, he's not there, he's not at the Greeks. He's asking, we don't know where he is, he's not here. 6 days goes by, finally he finds Joey. Joey, what the fuck? Joey goes, before Lester could say anything, Joey says, I've been looking for you. Lester goes, I've been trying to call you, you know. This is the days before call forward and call waiting, voicemail, and that shit. So he goes, I've been trying to get a hold of you. He goes, look, fucking Joey, I got all kinds of problems, man. You know, my car, Lester drove a 1972 Sky Blue Grand Prix. He said, I'm having problems with the car. There's problems with the car. Look, kid, I work. You give me the car, I'll take care of the car for you. Don't worry about it. Well, where's the money? I forgot it. Come back tomorrow, have the car fixed, and I'll have your money. So Lester goes, okay. He goes back. No Joey. 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row. Finally, he fucking finds Joey. He goes, God damn it, Joe! You owe me this money, the car, what the fuck? And it goes, Joe's like, fucking relax, will you? He goes, relax, nothing. I got this fucking money hanging over my head, my fucking car. He goes, oh look, don't worry, I'm handling everything. I sold your fucking car, you don't have to worry. You sold my car. Yeah, I thought that's what you wanted. No, I don't want you to sell the fucking car. I just bought the car. You bought that thing fucking used. That one. I thought you wanted me to sell it. You don't want the $8,000 I got for the. Whoa, $8,000. Well, you got $8,000 for that car. I got it for $3,000. You know, I found some fucking mook. You don't want the money? I'll get the money, but no, I want the money. I gotta get $1,000 for my trouble. Yo, that's only natural. $7 grand. Yeah, fuck. Good. Sure, okay, well give me that, and then the money that you owe me for the other thing. And then this guy, shit, I forgot to bring the money today. I'll tell you what. Come back tomorrow. Cause Joe don't fucking do this. Come back tomorrow. I swear on my mother's grave, on a stack of fucking Bibles, I'll have this money for you tomorrow. And he shows up tomorrow. Nobody's answering the door. And Lester fucking flips. Call it a steroid-induced rage. He fucking flips. He's downstairs kicking the metal. You know, his legs shooting now. He's trying to get. He's not even making words anymore. And he runs around to Uncle Sam and he's yanking on the gates. And finally, he fucking pulls it open and squeezes between the cock and Uncle Sam's mouth into the yard, and the dogs take off after him. He jumps up on a pile of fucking cars and he's running from car to car, and he's I'm gonna, and he gets to the office and he does this whole Tarzan thing where he jumps and he swings on these chains and he climbs into the fucking office, and there he finds Joe sitting in the chair drinking. He's like, Joe, you're gonna make me fucking kill you. You're a month late with this money now, Joe. A month. And he's waving his gun, and his face looks like a fucking top of the thermometer. He is angrier than I've ever seen any human being be. And Joe says, relax. He goes, you come into my place with a gun? It's no way to do business. Between adults, it's no way. I mean, you got a gun. I got a gun. Both of us have guns. This is how friends act. It's like, Joe, listen. This is how friends act! Now, Lester had just seen a fat man before. And then he saw a fat man and a gun. And now he just saw a man standing, walking toward him with the gun. And like, yeah, you're gonna shoot that gun, Lester. I'm gonna talk business like adults. Lester's like, you put your gun down. He goes, no, you put your gun down. And Joey's walking toward him with the gun in his hand. And unlike Lester, Joey actually has his finger inside the trigger guard around the trigger. And he jams it up in the kids underneath the jaw. He said, so now we're gonna do business like adults? Or no? He goes, okay, Joe. All right, Joe, fucking relax. All that shit I said before. I was angry, I was steamed, I'm pissed about the car, I'm looking bad, I'm a month due with the fucking money. Just put the gun down. He throws the gun on the floor. And Joe says, you're never getting the money. And something else. You know that brother of yours? The one with the angel bull lips, you know him? I want you to call him now on the phone. Fuck my brother, Joe. Fuck. Call him. And so he calls him. He says, Cheech, yeah, no, it's Lester. Joe told me to call. How you doing, kid? Yeah, I got a joke for you. Hold on. Puts the phone down the end table. Now people had heard rumors about Joe, and there's lots of talk and lots of chatter, and people remember 976, but 976 seemed like business, you know. I mean, it was nothing that a guy might do for pleasure. But this was something else. Lester looked at his gun as it sat there under the desk, and Joey saw him look at his gun. And he's like, you could always try. You could always try. He goes, no, I just want the money. And Joey goes, money? You're not gonna get any money. But I'm gonna tell you what you will get. I mean, Lester had heard the rumors too, you know. But Lester was also 225, you know. Obviously a barbell boy. You know, this kind of stuff didn't happen to guys like Lester. But as this time, Joey started undoing his own belt and his pants, you know. This is a very, and even if you're in your doctor's office, when he asks you to take off your pants, you know, there's always that moment where you say, he didn't just ask me to take off my pants, did he? So Lester goes the 5 stages of the denial, you know, the 5 stages of death, the 5 stages of eventual ass rape. He starts negotiating. Look, I'll tell you what, you give me half the money now, you can give me the other half. Okay, you give me 25% now, and okay, all right, look, they're gonna fucking kill you for this. They're not gonna kill me, because nobody's gonna know except for you and me and your brother. I'll skip the details.
I have to. In LA, people were walking out. And he is working Lester against the desk, and he's screaming to the kid on the phone, and Cheech, how funny is this, Cheech? And he blows his load into Lester's ass, and he picks up the telephone receiver, and he goes, Cheech? Cheech? And he looks at Lester and goes, he missed the punchline. He hangs up the phone. He pulls his pants up. He drags Lester toward the marble stairs and he says, from now on, I pay what I pay. I tell you what I pay. And I send somebody to drop it off. I don't want to see you guys down here again. Now, you might think it was the ass rape that got him over. But Joey was a big earner. And if $2 million comes in a paper bag or a shoebox or, you know, or Puerto Rico on a bicycle, nobody gives a fuck. So he pushes him down the marble stairs. And Lester's at the bottom, he's pulling his pants up. I'm gonna fucking kill you, Joe. I'm gonna fucking kill you. And Joe's gonna laugh and he goes, you're not gonna kill me. You're not gonna fucking kill me. Get your pants up. Get your shit out of here. And fuck off before I call a cop. Thank you.
Scott Kelly. And there's merchandise if you want to buy that book.